On this episode of Lapeef Let's Talk,
So masculine. I mean, I'm just
believe
trying to figure out where
I believe that as much as me and Kayla got into it, I don't think that she would operate like that in person either.
Maybe because you didn't operate like a certain way in
Everybody
person.
knows I'm mad.
Anton, Anton, you just gave Logic a whole thing
We can
about
say
how
all the maybes.
you just gave Logic a whole thing about how men create the environment. So could it be you?
Sometimes men create the environment that create a masculine woman. That's correct. I don't know why people operate the way that they do online in the same way that you, Kay, say that you never see the same type of behavior that you see online. Also, you say the same thing that I say.
Like in terms of overall society, like
Yes.
all these men complain about plates and stuff. I don't see that type of thing.
Honest with
Jersey.
No. Honestly, bro, because this is weird to me. Real talk. And JR, I know that you're the ones that ask the questions, but I gotta ask you, bro. Honestly. And maybe I'm wrong. Within a few hours, can you tell if a certain chick is a certain type of way? Like how I described it. I could tell if that chick ain't even supposed to be here. I could tell that she the awkward one and she just came along for the ride and she just trying to be down with her friends. I could tell that one ain't got no confidence. You telling me JR, honestly, can you tell within a few hours the type of chick that you're dealing with?
No, use the context you use. You said she's super feminine.
That's the same thing. The type of chick that you're dealing with. Can you tell?
You're trying to say some other stuff. Yeah, super feminine.
Okay, JR, can you tell if a chick is super feminine?
For the most part.
So I'm not crazy, or maybe me and JR are both crazy.
I guess so.
Rilla, can you tell?
Really great discernment.
And you know the fun, bro, I'm out in the streets every day. I'm in the streets every single. The only night I'm not in the streets is Thursday nights. Every night I'm in the streets. It's on my vlogs. I'm at the spots. I'm at the bars. I'm in different cities. I don't know about Kayla's life, but I'm probably the one that's out in the streets more than anybody else on this panel.
No, you ain't in the streets.
Am I off?
Probably,
see,
you know what my life is like.
You just made another assumption. Just like you
probably. I didn't say definitively.
You making assumptions. You don't know. You don't know what I do. So you can't say that. So now
you just
wait. Hold on, Kayla. Hey, Kayla. You don't need no wingman. He got Q. Hold on, Kayla.
Say that, Kayla.
Hold on, Kayla. He don't need no wingman. He already got Q. So look.
What?
Not based on what I said.
What? But see, you just whatever Kayla said. Let me repeat that. But you just said
that he knows all the women and he's been around all the
black women. They masculine.
And now
all the black women, all the women in the world want politics.
All the black women drink malt liquor.
Hey family,
do this.
I'm gonna transition to the next question.
Can I please just ask Anton?
Go ahead.
Okay, so Anton, I've heard you say before multiple times and today about how you observed or whatever me. So then why do you say all the time on the show that I'm so masculine and whatnot? Like, why would you say that if you've observed and discerned and all these things about how I am? Wow, like, are you trying to just paint a narrative or like what's going on?
Because it was.
I don't think you.
Or based on what you said, are you?
The question and then
I'm just going to add a little more just so that you can answer it fully. Or based on what you just said, are you saying that like you've created an environment that brings a certain thing out of the women that you may complain about, which may or may not be me, on this platform? And just based on all that you said, because I was listening.
I believe that when we showed up in person, you had a different type of energy. I think that, correct me if I'm wrong.
I think that you had a much different energy too.
What, did you have a different energy in person?
Did you? I think you.
Yeah, why you can't answer the question directly?
No, I think my energy is the same. It just depends how somebody comes at me.
Let me describe you in person. When we came in the building, I think that initially you were nervous. I think you were jittery. I think you were a little bit excited. And I think that all of these things combined created a femininity, and then you leaned into your femininity because that was your default. I'm sorry?
Nothing. Sorry.
I think that you leaned into your femininity because that was your default. But then I think on here, and one of the reasons I don't really want to answer the question in its entirety is because I don't know. I'm sorry?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
No. I'm answering the question.
Oh, okay.
So, Anton, you just proved my point.
Y'all gonna let me finish? Go ahead, Mr. Logic.
No, go ahead, Anton.
Listen, Kay, tell me if I'm off.
Hey, Elijah, hold on.
Am I off on that? Real quick. I'm open to being wrong. Am I off on that description?
I was excited when y'all came. I was like, we never met. I was like, yay, they're here. And the whole thing about like, because you said like I'm masculine a lot on the show, even after we met. Mm-hmm. So I was just wondering, like, if you see me as so feminine, why would you paint this so masculine picture?
The way that women are.
You know that, and then you just said something like, you know what? Sometimes men create the environment for a woman to act a certain. That was your whole thing just now. So then, your fault, like,
the context is that in relationships, I think that the environment is created, right? Because you can't create an environment for a woman that spends an exorbitant amount of time for you unless you're in a relationship with her. You're going to see her a lot of times. And even if you got a work relationship with somebody, that's an environment that you're creating for a woman. I think that women operate differently when they meet guys in person than they do online.
So why did you operate differently when we met in person?
Why would I have smoke for you? If we'd have got into it, I would have told you exactly what it is that I thought.
Right. Like I'm not saying that your personality is inconsistent. I'm not, because I think your personality is the same. But I'm just saying, like, what is the difference? I'm just trying to see, because I love to hear these positive things that you're saying about me, but it's just weird when we come online and then it's a totally different story when you have all these positive things from our in-person encounter, like when we met, and then we're online and it's like, she's so masculine. I'm just trying to figure out where
as much as me and Kayla got into it, I don't think that she would operate like that in person either.
Maybe because you didn't operate like a certain way in person.
Everybody knows I'm mad.
Anton, you just gave Logic a whole thing.
We can
about
say
how
all the maybes.
You just gave Logic a whole thing about how men create the environment. So could it be you?
Sometimes men create the environment that create a masculine woman. That's correct. I don't know why people operate the way that they do online. In the same way that you, Kay, say that you never see the same type of behavior that you see online. Also, you say the same thing that I say.
Like in terms of overall society, like all these men complain about plates and stuff. I don't see that type of thing.